been a good time for me as a collector since I've been completing a lot of different teams, getting all the figures I need to finish lineups, like my Thunderbolts team, and also a general Daredevil lineup. That's going to continue today with another custom figure by Funny Bricks as well as Lifebrick, being Elektra, which is going to be in the Funny Brick plastic case. A couple of studs there, so you could, in theory, display a figure on this if you really wanted to. Inside we'll have 3 separate bags, one for the figure and one for individual size. So you have 2 of those as an accessory. It's going to be 32 out of 60, but I do think there are different color variants for this, so it's definitely more than 60 made. It's also going to be a collab with Mr. J Brick, so it is specifically made for filling in the Thunderbolts roster, since that is something that they have been working on. And here's the other side of the card. There is a little bit of a code up there, number FBRO13, whatever that would mean. I think this is kind of a nice little card. There's a little bit of metallic to the, I guess, cardboards. That's interesting to see, and has a nice render of the character. Let's check it out. My first impressions of Elektra are very positive. I think this is a very well done minifigure and is pretty respectful for the character for the most part. I'm going to say, something's going to be a little over exaggerated here, and I'm sure you can guess what it is. But I feel like it could be a lot pervier, so I guess, some positive points here still. I do really like the wrap designs all the way throughout the design, whether it's on the arms, the legs, and looks like they are going to just be symmetrical both sides, so that's a little disappointing, I guess, but maybe it is somewhat cheaper or easier somehow just to do that. I think overall the size are a good piece too. Probably scale just as well as the official Lego one. Are going to be shaped a little bit better too and less angular. Yeah, they're pretty much the same size, where these ones are technically a little bit smaller since they are more finely pointed. But it seems like, I believe they are black with the silver painted on, so you're not going to have issues with the paint chipping in the hand. So I do really appreciate that. And just look like good accessories and are obviously going to be perfect for Elektra, so glad those were included. Always nice to get some cool custom molded parts. I guess my one concern at the moment might be the durability of the back bandana piece over time. Hopefully it's sturdy enough. It seems like there isn't a ton of flex to it though, so I definitely see that being an issue at some point if you're not careful. And I guess flexibility might also be an issue, where the tunic piece is going to make it basically impossible to move the legs. Let's see if I can. Yeah, you're going to get about that much movement where we're at right now, so bummer, I guess. That's also kind of a more matte red than the red plastic or red print. So a little bit noticeable there. Probably the same color as the head dress there, but since this isn't touch red, it's not going to be as noticeable. Moving the arms, you still got full rotation, basically, even with the hairpiece, so that's nice, especially for a female hairpiece. That is something that can definitely get in the way of posability usually. But with the minimal leg movement, I guess that's a evening out point. I forgot to pay attention when I move the arms, but yep, there is going to be print on the inside of the arms for the wrapping, so that is, again, nice little attention to detail, which is going to be pretty common for Lifebrick and also Funny Brick from what I've seen. I'm having a hard time focusing, but you did see that already. But I am happy to say that the hairpiece is actually easy enough to get off. And on the head, you can see there's a little bit of subtle red for a necklace type, or I guess that would be kind of the continuation of the costume. I do really like that there's the little black lines, which kind of is reminiscent of some comic book arts, whether it is on the torso, some of the boot areas. So that's a little bit of nice extra shading that looks nice. And even the side of the torso is going to be printed to have the flesh where it should be, where the arms are. And I've seen that on a couple different minifigures. It isn't 100% necessary, but is appreciated since it does have a little bit of extra accuracy to, where things should be, since it shouldn't be red right there if the arm is connecting to the body. And I wonder what color torso this is. Okay, so it is going to be a light nougat torso. So the red is going to be printed all the way around. So it's nice that at least keeps it consistent on the whole minifigure, since legs are also going to be light flesh, so that every bit of red on here is going to be printed. So all the colors should be the same. For the face designs, we got one which is a bit of a smirk, more neutral look, and the other side is going to be a more angry neutral look. So I would probably use that one for her, maybe in some sort of her and Matt situations, the more happy one, but I bought this for my Thunderbolts collection, so I'm definitely going to keep it on the more angry one. I guess while we're at it, let's see if there is a printed version of the waist cape on the legs. There is not, but there are, still nice printings of the wraps inside of the leg. I'm assuming, again, going to be printed with some really nice detailing. So lots of great print all around here. Honestly, I don't even think that this is that bad of a look for her without the waist cape. Not great. But I'm sure you can get a fabric piece that would imitate the molded one for more posability, since she is an assassin, and you're going to probably want to have her in some sort of fighting pose, which is going to be impossible with what we have right now. Definitely going to have to look on the market for that, since, something I would want to, if I ever wanted to do a Thunderbolts mock. But if it's just in my case, no concern there, but just something I want to bring up. And it's too bad that the hair wraps around to the front, since the little extra bit of depth there where the bandana is spaced from the torso would have been nice to actually be able to move the hairpiece in the head. But obviously, hair is going to get in the way of that, and I feel like this is a better look anyway. And I do appreciate everything here. I think the molds are great, print is great. With that being said, let's go to some comparisons and the final verdict. It's kind of a fun little comparison here with a lot of black and red showing. Really great minifigure. Really love a lot of aspects of the design of it, other than, the loss of mobility with the hard plastic fabric piece. It's going to be the same problem as the Mr. J Mystique I also have. And like I said, a lot more respectful to the character, I feel like. Proportion-wise, pretty similar to the Mystique one, but this one was a lot worse of a design, I feel like. And my other funny brick minifigure that I also have with the bombastic big man there, where they're very simplified, very comic accurate, but still have an interesting amount of printing that is all over the place on the minifigure. And of course, my other comic Daredevil minifigure customs. My favorite custom Daredevil I have with the Mini Bigs one there, and the SJ Bricks Bullseye also being a really great figure. I feel like these level of customs that are in the comic family would still fit in with something, Netflix related, where it's a bit more realistic, a bit more gritty, but still intricately designed enough to stand up to something like that. Plus, like I said, I'm working my hardest to finish the Thunderbolts team, and I also have the Punisher for this series, so basically wrapping that up. I did not buy like the $100 custom Red Hulk though, like I already showed with the Big Fig one. Figured it's better just to buy a Lego set and get the official one there, but my favorite comic Deadpool custom that I have, maybe one of my favorite Deadpools too, and having all these lined up from a comic book series by Dylan Way that I grew up reading is really nice now. I didn't really expect to want it, but after I saw them releasing all the different variants for this, plus getting the Carbon Bricks Deadpool already, had to finish the lineup, and that is what I went up and did. The Punisher review will come out eventually. That has a lot of loose parts, so it'll be a little bit more of a complicated thing to look at, but I'm not even like a huge Daredevil fan. I do really like the Netflix series and, of course, the continuation for Disney Plus. But if you're going to put out a very cool comic accurate minifigure, I'll definitely consider it. And like I said, I really like the Thunderbolt series as well as Uncanny X-Force. So those little kind of more obscure or less popular lineups of characters always is going to interest me a little bit, especially when I have this special connection from actually reading the books. And that's definitely going to be the case here with Elektra. Being a very accurate, just normal comic appearance for her, obviously for that suit in the series too, but having a full team of something I really enjoyed is always a nice touch. If you want to see more custom Lego Marvel or custom Lego videos overall, check out all the content on my channel. If you want to help out the channel even further, feel free to join as a member for some additional perks. Like always, I've been Brick Radiop, and I will see you in the next video.